The heroic dose.
Indeed. Have you ever dabbled in the heroic dose?
I haven't gotten that far.
What's the most of psilocybin you've ever taken?
I think 3.
3. Yeah. No, that's a pretty solid trip, though, too,
Yeah.
though. The 3 is pretty solid.
I think that's... Most of the time, I think that's the amount that I've done.
I like
I've
2
done
grams. I think 2
I've
grams is a good trip.
microdosed for sure.
Oh, yeah. Microdosing is a whole other animal. And that's something that I've experimented different dosages. I've tried mushrooms versus acid. I find that for productivity, acid is probably the supreme microdose. But mushrooms is a great microdose if you're going to just have like a nice day off.
Yeah.
And you want to like be creative, go take a walk.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
Enjoy nature.
What is... When you do shrooms, why do you do shrooms?
I like the way that shrooms teach you.
Okay.
So the method in which they disseminate information to you is always clever, it's creative, and it is done in a way that only your own mind could give you.
Right.
Because it's not just like the psilocybin is the catalyst to the event, but ultimately the brain is really where that event is happening.
The brain is the medium.
The brain's the medium. And so the brain is using all of your data, all the shit that you have already in your head, all the experiences, the subconscious feelings you have about certain things that you might not even be consciously aware of. And it uses all of that together in such a creative way to show you in some of the simplest actions of external forces, watching a fucking bird laying on a tree or something, and you get this deep insight that comes from within that you already had, but it gives you the ability to unlock that. And so that is what I like about just psychedelics in general, but mushrooms in particular.
I'm definitely a psychonaut. I love exploring my mind that way, because I do end up coming out just mind blown, because it's not only a teaching, right? It's not just a teacher, it's an experience. Like, you're experiencing the teaching, and you can't learn anything. You have no knowledge of anything until you've truly experienced it. You know, you can read as many books as you want, but without wisdom, all you are is just
knowledge.
It's just knowledge. It's just words. So the last time I did shrooms, maybe it was a month ago or so, I don't know. I actually followed the instructions of Terrence McKenna and put blindfolds on.
Yep.
And I meditated, and it didn't feel like I was gone that long, but I was gone for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Holy shit.
And
that's long on a trip too.
Yeah.
That's a long amount of time.
Well, I'm an avid meditator as well, so it wasn't that crazy for me. What was trippy is you're talking about the way symbols come up, and that only truly means something to you. I was constantly in this place where I wanted to move. I wanted to get out of my skin, and I set an intention that I wasn't going to move. And so I had to keep my position, right? I had to keep my position. And I noticed that my skin would crawl, or I would want to get out of my skin only when I was having negative thoughts, right? So when I had that realization, I was like, oh, I don't want to be with myself when I'm in a negative state.
Only when it's positive.
Only when I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Right? So,
which is unrealistic.
Well, not true. So what I picked up was this idea that, so I'll bring her specific. So this one woman who's part of my life, she gets under my skin. Just her views and my views just do not match on a lot of levels. But she is a part of my life, and I have to deal with her, right? And I found myself thinking about her in this meditation, and again, I wanted to get out of my skin. It's like I don't want to deal with this, right? And then I was like, wait a minute, what happens if I just love her? Just love her. And all of a sudden, like images of her started coming into my mind of like, oh, she's beautiful, she's awesome, she's great. And then I stopped and I was like, I'm not trying to jump out of my skin right now.
Yeah.
So it's not me saying that, oh yeah, you're not ever going to always be at peace or whatever. It's more along the lines of, don't you see how your negative thoughts are manifesting in your body before it even manifests in the outside universe? Mm-hmm. Your first connection to the outside universe is already telling you you're not in a good state.
Yeah.
And so anytime I'm in a wavelength of love, of compassion and all that stuff, I can literally just sit there. I could sit there for 2 hours and 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what I loved about that is like I can now bring that into the
Your
objective
daily,
world, my daily world, and be like, wait, I'm having a negative thought. That's how I'm creating this circumstance for myself right now. What can I do right now to get back to peace, get back to compassion?
Yeah,
get back
to
love?
reframe the mindset from being negative.
Right.
Yeah, I've gone through the same shit because I've had times where it's like I'm thinking about the situation and I'm coming at it from such a negative point of view that it's, of course, I'm going to feel negative about it. Right. And that doesn't mean that I'm not justified in feeling certain things that might be frustrating.
Right.
That's okay. That's human. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
But there is something about acknowledging the negativity and then finding a way to make it a positive thing in the long run. Even if it's not in the short term going to be positive in any way. Yeah. In hindsight, it might be. It might be such a crucial lesson that you learn because of that negativity. And identifying that and then being able to repurpose that for your own benefit, that's one of the keys, man.
Yeah, man. First principles, it's just first principle is that I am, right? Whatever what's the phrase? As a man thinketh, so is he, or is like, I
think, therefore I am.
There it is. I think, therefore I am. Descartes.
Yeah.
I think, therefore I am. It's like, man, what am I thinking about right now? It's like, who am I being? All right, I'm being that. What am I thinking then? I'm a student of a guy named Neville Goddard who says imagination creates reality. So whatever you assume to be true will manifest in this world. So if you want to know what's going on inside you consciously, what's going on in your conscious mind, just look
around you.
Just look around you.
Yeah.
And there it is. And yeah, man,